ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship here on the campus of Notre Dame. We begin our quadruple header quarterfinal with number 1 undefeated North Carolina, all smiles from the head coach Jenny Levy, against the number 8 seed Pittsburgh Panthers. It's the first of 4 quarterfinals today. Lock in, enjoy it. 10 straight hours of lacrosse from the best conference in the country. Duke, Notre Dame, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, Virginia, all coming up. But we start with North Carolina in Pittsburgh alongside Sheehan Stanwick, Birch, Dana Boyle on the sidelines. I'm Jay Alter, and let's start with North Carolina, the only undefeated team left in the country, the number 1 seed and clear favorite in this ACC championship.
They definitely are. They've been tested at times, but they've been able to prevail. And what stands out to me is their depth. Every position is so strong. You've got stars like Jamie Ortega, Ali Mastriani, Emma Trencher, Taylor Moreno. Everywhere you go, they're really one of the tops in the nation. So tough to beat. They've won 5 ACC championships, so they've been dominant in this entire tournament. They're looking to win their 6th consecutive, and they've just done a phenomenal job. Just really, their depth stands out, but just their will to win. They want to get this ACC championship. They want to get the national championship. They want to prove, and a lot of players have come back for their extra year, that they are the best in the nation in May.
This has been a dynasty from Jenny Levy's team, so it'll take a Herculean effort from Pittsburgh today. Dana, what's the key for the Panthers?
Well, Jay, it's really all about goalie world this afternoon. Paulina DeFatta stands out to me. She's going to have to play huge in cage. She's going to have to be bigger than she is. She broke an ACC tournament record on that game against Wednesday versus Louisville, but she's got to be big in cage because UNC, you got to pick your poison. They have so many threats. She's got to be able to be that leader of the defense that she has been all season. When we spoke to Emily Boissonneau, she said she's the spark. She gives us life in this game, so she's got a tall task ahead of her.
Well, she'll come in with tons of confidence, setting that ACC championship record in the opening round. 19 saves. They may need even more than 19 to knock off this undefeated North Carolina team. It's Ali Mastriani in the draw control circle in white for the Tar Heels, the freshman Jill Fennick in gray for Pittsburgh. And we are underway in our monster quadruple header quarterfinal Friday here at the ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship. Long battle for the opening draw, won by Emma Trenchard in North Carolina, showing why she was an all-ACC first-teamer for the 3rd time in her Tar Heel career.
This North Carolina team is so strong. We saw them when Pitt opened up with their first ACC game earlier in the regular season, and Pitt hung with them for a little bit, and UNC was able to open things up. But Pitt's got nothing to lose here, coming off such a great win against Louisville in the opening round.
Now, we've seen North Carolina be tested throughout the season, but no one's been able to beat them. 15-0, the only undefeated team left in the country. Big reason why you can't just key in on 1 or 2 players. Everybody out there can score for the Tar Heels.
Caitlin Wurzberger operating behind the net. She gets out to Ali Mastriani. They just do a great job sharing the ball.
And right on cue, Ortega with a great feed and an easy finish. Sam Geiersbach opens the scoring for the top-seeded Tar Heels.
Excellent job moving the ball around. Everyone looks to challenge in this UNC offense, but then they look for the best option to score and take that possession. And beautiful feed from Jamie Ortega, career points leader, and Geiersbach with the score.
I love that tandem, Geiersbach and Jamie Ortega. And Geiersbach, she's a transfer, so she came in from Richmond, and she's been such a welcome addition. She is so dangerous on that goal line extended, Sheehan.
We have seen her do her fancy inside rolls from there. She opts not to have to do any fancy footwork to get herself free. But the grad student with her 21st goal this season, there's so many players to have to key on. When we've talked to opposing coaches, it's not like you can really face guard one opponent, one player on this UNC team. It takes a complete team defense, so the communication is of utmost importance.
And I thought their attack looked really good last year, but it's on a whole nother level this year.
Well, what amazes me is they brought back so much talent with the likes of Jamie Ortega and Caitlin Wurzberger, Scotty Rose Growney, and then you add in the likes of Sam Geiersbach and Andy Aldave, who this is a homecoming for her, coming back to South Bend. She played at Notre Dame, got her degree here before using the grad transfer year. I mean, they added top-level talent to existing top-level talent.
The rich get richer, and UNC has benefited.
Trying to find Aldave, who's camped out on the doorstep. Wurzburger recovers.
Good pump fake there. Scotty Rose Growney is able to draw the shooting space. To get that call, you need to be looking at the cage and having an opportunity to shoot. So oftentimes you'll see the offensive players give a little pump fake to try to draw that whistle.
Here's Scotty Rose Growney in her first 5th season in a Tar Heels uniform. It's amazing for these players in North Carolina. They've never lost an ACC championship. All they know is winning, and it breeds confidence. Scotty Rose Growney beats DeFata, and it's an early 2-0 start for North Carolina.
Growney's been sensational on these 8-meter opportunities. She's shooting 50% on the season with those 8-meter goals. Great quick hands in there, and that's a statistic that you have to look at when you get to these championship level games and tournaments. You need to make sure you convert on the 8-meter.
2 goals in 41 seconds for North Carolina to set the tone.
She opted to do a little hop skip there and let it rip. And it was really of utmost importance that this Carolina team did not shoot Paulina DeFata hot. We talked about how awesome she was in the first round game with 19 saves. So really important those first couple shots that you focus on as an offense.
And Scotty Rose Growney, her shot was to the back of the net. A lot of the struggle with Louisville trying to shoot against DeFata was they were shooting at her feet. You got to get it away from the feet.
Yeah, but DeFata must have had bruises all over her because she was hit all over, a lot of body saves.
Well, this is Pittsburgh's first possession, and let's give the Panthers some love. What an amazing season. This is the first year in program history, and to be in the ACC quarterfinal, to win in that opening round, to get back to 500 at 9-9. What a job Emily Boissoudo and this Panthers team has done this season to get to this point. But talking to her before the game, now you got nothing to lose. Let's go out and show what Pittsburgh's all about.
It was great being down there. She was loose, full of energy, a lot of smiles. Getting that win against Louisville is just awesome for the program. Able to beat them in the regular season, and they're up against UNC right now, which is a tall task, but they were going to embrace it. Thought that they could hang with them. And it's great when you go into the underdog. Sometimes the underdog mentality, everyone roots for you.
And Pittsburgh cashes in on their opening possession. That'll give the Panthers tons of confidence. Kate Elam with a nifty move there to put the first goal on the board for Pittsburgh.
And this is huge for Pittsburgh to finally get it down on their offensive end. Elam with a nice switch to the hands and pulls it out a little bit and then goes for the redodge. So looks for more spacing, gets a much better angle with her second chance attempt and gets it by stick side by Marino.
I think Taylor Marino was a little surprised by that, and Elam didn't turn the corner, so I wonder if that's why that second slide didn't come just a little bit quicker, because that's something that defensively UNC is locked in on, that second slide. They've got great communication, but we got to give Pitt some love. That was a great and much needed score.
We've had 3 shots in this game and 3 goals, so the offense has started our quadruple header quarterfinal.
Pitt was super efficient on their offensive end in that first round game against Louisville.
They're going to need to follow that up and be extra efficient today, especially with Ali Mastriani so dominant at the draw control circle. You expect North Carolina to have the lion's share of possession in this game.
UNC does a great job. That's going to be a turnover there. So an errant pass, so a real gift to Pittsburgh on that possession. Not something that you usually see, those self-inflicted errors from the Tar Heels.
And when you're playing a team like UNC, those errant errors, you have to capitalize on them. So for Pitt, right now, they've got to have a clean clear, and they got to go down on the field because they don't give you that many opportunities, UNC, to really breathe. So this is a big possession and a gift.
We saw in the first round game, Paige Petty, number 26 for Pitt, was being face guarded. She is being marked up by Emma Trenchard, which is tough to beat, but she was able to get involved a lot on the 8-meter. We'll see if they'll try to work her the ball. She's the leading scorer.
Gets it here, Paige Petty, 26 in gray. Tried to get the hands free, couldn't do it. 4-time All-ACC player, named to the second team earlier this week. and earned it 3 times when she was at Virginia Tech. That's an empty possession for Pittsburgh. We just talked about the efficiency needing to be a requirement today, and you hate to not even get a shot off on that possession.
Yeah, it was a nice pass inside. I don't think that McNerney was ready for that she didn't anticipate that coming to her, but you need to make sure that when you have those chances on your offense that you're getting good looks.
Transition defense also a big key for Pittsburgh. North Carolina, the best team in the country from turning defense into offense.
So high power, this offense, and we've got a nice look. Watch these off-ball players. They'll work the ball around, but everyone starts cutting and moving and creating open lanes to Cage. And once again, you see Scotty Rose Brownie. What she does, she assesses the defense. Then she realizes she's got a defender that's not within a stick's length from her. So she looks to shoot, and she's able to once again draw the shooting space foul.
Rose Brownie winding up, steps in, bouncer. Didn't get a lot on it. It made for a comfortable save for Paulina DeFatta. Now 20 for the tournament after 19 saves in the opening round win against Louisville.
And good job by the defenders for Pitt. They got a stick on that, so it was stick-to-stick contact. So if you're taking an 8-meter and you're the defense, you got to get a stick in the passing lane, so well done.
Allison Trice lost her footing, lost the ball as well. A third turnover for Pittsburgh in this opening quarter.
Beautiful quick clear. UNC has had, we've seen some great clears from Marino that lead into instant offense.
There's Aldave working it around. Everybody on the field can hurt you. Geyer's back already with a goal to her name. Crossfield pass. Rose Brownie.
Great movement of the ball, making the defense have to shift. Good collapsing defense.
DeFatta did well to get there. It'll reset the shot clock to 60. Wurzburger so good. Crafty off the pipe. Aldave. Ortega tried to pick up the rebound. And Pittsburgh survives that possession.
Excellent defensive stand. It's clear. When you make such a great play defensively, you got to make sure that you get into your defender stick. Beautiful pickup.
Kept alive. Ratliff Kailborn. Battle for the backup. Won by Marino.
That's an unbelievable hustle play. Great job by the goalkeeper, Taylor Marino. Shows why she is first team All-ACC. Just heads up and able to win possession.
Now, the game against North Carolina, I don't know that you want to get into a track meet, but Emily Boissonneau, she encouraged her team to play confidently, play fast. Feels like they're so good in transition, she doesn't want to discourage them, but it's finding that balance right, because that's when you probably do want to slow down.
Yes, and they could have taken, they had a great defensive effort. The clear was a little bit overrun. And beautiful shot.
And Jamie Ortega makes the Panthers pay in transition. One of the best to ever play in the ACC, Jamie Ortega, with her first of likely many in this ACC championship.
We are on record watch for Ortega. Amazing job here. Caitlin Wurzburger, and the double team goes. Ortega is wide open, cuts right inside of the crease. That's a connection that's been successful all year long.
First of 4 games in the ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship quarterfinals. What to watch for? Notre Dame and Virginia, they come in 500, so to remain eligible, they have to win if they want to keep their NCAA tournament hopes alive. And then record watch for Charlotte North and Jamie Ortega, chasing history. North 8 goals away to become the Division I all-time leader, and then Ortega already 2 points today, a goal and an assist, just needs 8 points to pass Jen Adams to become the ACC all-time leader.
just, you know, such amazing talent here. You see those two stars, North and Ortega. They're probably one of the front runners for the Tewaaraton Trophy, which North won last year. And Boston College has been talking all week how they've never won an ACC championship, and they are looking to come in here and make some waves.
You know, it's funny, you know, on the graphic there, we've got Virginia and Notre Dame at 500, so a win likely puts them in to the at-large pool. How about Pittsburgh? They're 500 too. I know it's their first season, and a lot of people didn't expect them to be 500, but they are. If they were to somehow pull a miracle today and knock off undefeated North Carolina, they'd be in.
They're in, totally. They've had an amazing first season. It's very hard to be a new program coming into the ACC. They were able to win their first game in program history with an awesome 9-8 win over Duquesne back in February. And they continue to be very strong and showing that they are able to get top talent. They've been really helped by the grad transfers coming in here with some leadership, but they've got a lot of young stars.
Great pass from Aldave, even better finish. Caitlin Wurzberger curling around the cage and putting that home.
This UNC team is scoring in multiple different ways, whether it's from the 8-meter, assisted goals, passes to the inside. They're showing why they're so tough to be able to defend. Aldave up top, and look at Wurzberger. She just curls around the crease. What I love about Wurzberger's game is her quick finish. She's got very tight stick skills. She realizes that she's got a swarm of defenders coming at her, and she's able to get that shot off and get the space open.
She's similar to Jamie Ortega in the way that she's able to absorb some of that pressure. She has so much poise, and she's still really young. I think sometimes her name gets lost in some of the other stars for UNC, but she is steady, and I've loved watching her take over that Katie Hogue role behind X.
And what tough shoes to fill for the young player, Caitlin Wurzberger. Katie Hogue and Jamie Ortega, what a 1-2 punch they were, and to have to replace Hogue. And Jenny Levy, I remember earlier this season, said we don't want her to be Katie Hogue. We want her to be the best version of Caitlin Wurzberger she can be, and down the stretch of this season, she has been.
And she's gained a lot more confidence. And they were strategic last year. They put Wurzberger with Hogue to kind of give her that confidence. And I think she's taken 10 steps, 10 leaps forward. She's done a really great job.
A little overload play here for Pitt. You see how the whole right side is open, and UNC is going to send that early help. Someone's open. It's the furthest player from the ball, so Pitt needs to beat this by quicker passes.
And here's Paige Petty. Chloe Jones trying to spin herself free. Double team came in, and Marino scoops up the ground ball.
This is where they're really dangerous in transition.
Look out. Here's Jamie Ortega with a head of steam. Ortega just missed it.
UNC, they just work the ball around, give everyone a touch, and then you'll see when it hits players' sticks, they look and they assess. Do they have an opportunity to take it to cage? If not, they pass and move, constantly creating lanes to goal.
Ortega so good at finding an angle. The extra pass to Fata. Maybe that'll get her going. A great save, exactly what Pittsburgh needed.
Beautiful stop there for Paulina DeFata. Just held strong. When Groundy received that inside, she was just able to follow the shot. I do think if you're UNC, when you catch that in the inside, your stick is high. You do want to change the level of your shot there. Throw in a fake.
I jumped in the pit huddle on that last time out, and the word that Emily Boissonneau used was composure. She said, we're giving UNC easy goals because defensively, we're unorganized. And so I thought that was a great defensive effort. Yes, not the best shot selection, but you got to feel a little bit confident now that the ball's on your offensive end.
Now that's got to kill Boissonneau as a defensive-minded head coach. Was the defensive coordinator for James Madison when they shocked the lacrosse world, winning the national championship. She prides herself on this defensive unit. Trying to get something on the offensive end. Bouncer Marino reads it well.
Those are those bouncers that are easier for a goalie to make those saves. When you have that bounce shot higher in the crease area, it's very easy for a goalie to kind of react, to gobble that up. When you shoot overhand like that, the ball actually loses speed. So you either have to shoot the ball more at an angle, closer to the goal line, extended there, but put some heat on that.
North Carolina's taken 9 shots. Pittsburgh's only mustered 3 in this first quarter. Tar Heels have dominated possession, just wearing this Pittsburgh defense down. Aldave goes low. DeFatta there again. The follow-up finds its way to the back of the net. Scotty Rose-Growney in perfect position to scoop it up and score.
The second chance opportunities, you just can't give them to a team like UNC. Looks like Scotty Rose-Growney may have gotten checked on that play, but does a wonderful job of seeing the ball on the turf. Ortega dishes it off, and Aldave just had one more step, but look at Scotty Rose-Growney. I love what her ability to really do an excellent face dodge, get herself to the center of the field. Look at this. There's sticks swinging all over the place. I think she gets tapped in the head area. No call, though.
She gave the coaches a thumbs up, so she's okay. But UNC has gotten a lot of those grub goals. We've seen them from Andy Aldave. They just, when the ball's on the ground and you're on attack and you're UNC, you got to get the ball, and they do such a good job. That's difficult to pick that up and have sticks all in your face and still get a goal.
You feel for Paulina DeFatta, makes a terrific save, only to be rewarded with Scotty Rose-Growney firing one past you.
And that's so tough as a defense. When the ball rebounds either off the pipe or off the keeper, you need to make sure that your eyes go down to the turf and you get the ball out as fast as you can, whether you bat it out or pick it up.
Pittsburgh's actually done a really nice job on the draw. 4-3 in favor of the Panthers. They just haven't done anything with that possession. 4 turnovers have cost them in this game.
And we talk about all the time. That's where the draw control stat can be really misleading. I think Sheehan does a really good job of explaining it, in that if you get the draw, that's great, but you got to get possession, then you have to score, because it doesn't really mean anything.
You got to do something positive with the possession. We've seen it happen before with teams that dominate and aren't able to convert.
Well, here's a great chance to do something positive. A free position, first one of the game for Pittsburgh. Emily Coughlin, one-on-one with Marino. The sophomore darts in. Saved her shot till late, probably a little too long. North Carolina collapsed, and Marino can come away with it.
I like the attempt, just running it straight into Cage, but she held it on for one more step, and that allowed the defense to get inside and get that stick check. But I think Pitt can do a better job of trying to draw some more fouls. Those are 8 meters are a great way to get better looks on Cage and not to have to thread the needle so much trying to get a good open look in the 8 meter.
This is Olivia Dirks fighting through traffic. DeFatta got a piece of it enough to keep it out.
Great defensive, the save, and it bounced out, but then Pitt was able to get control of that with Abby Thorne. And here's a nice clear. This is when they want to make sure they don't get too anxious. UNC will send pressure, and they're marking up tightly off ball.
DeFatta on pace to break her own record that she set on Wednesday with 19 saves, already with 6 today. Pittsburgh would love to end this first quarter with a goal, give them some confidence headed into the second quarter. Madison Cattell, transfer from Florida. Nothing doing. Pulls it back out, finds Petty. Great opportunity for Paige Petty. Couldn't connect.
Love the pass inside. Pitt's trying to work these one-on-one drives. UNC's doing a good job sending the double team there. Pitt either needs to create more space or work some of the two-man game and try to get the defense a step slow so they can beat their defender.
North Carolina, this is a defensive clinic in the first quarter.
The communication is on point. You can tell the slides are timed perfectly. They're putting pressure on. They're not getting creating fouls.
And it's the fundamentals, the defensive fundamentals. The 1v1 defense is so impressive, and a lot of times that defense for them turns into offensive possession.
Right on cue, Aldave had a great look, couldn't bury it, but North Carolina, a strong opening quarter in this ACC championship, 5-1 lead. They have set the tone. 6 turnovers on the defensive end caused, 5 goals on the other end, as the top-seeded Tar Heels, showing why they're the only undefeated team left in the country, a 5-1 lead after the opening 15. Well, it didn't take long for the #1 seed, North Carolina, to show why they are well deserving of that top seed.
4 different goal scorers, 3 assists on the day for this UNC offense, working the ball around, unselfishness on display, and scoring in multiple different ways. So tough to beat. You try to stop it. You do have to credit Paulina DeFatta inside. She had 7 saves that first quarter, but North Carolina with just too many opportunities.
And if you're Pittsburgh, communication to me is the biggest thing. They've got to lock down some of those wing players. And like you said, Sheehan, they're doing a good job skipping those passes, and it's making it hard for Pitt defensively. I was in the huddle with Emily Boissonneau, and she turned to her team and she said, we can't just wait around for the next girl to do it. You have to do it. It's your job. Communicate. We can't just sit on our heels.
Got to make a play, got to be disruptive. I like defense. I think it's very easy when they have one word in their head. Whatever their reset word is, whether it's focusing on your feet. A good defender, one-on-one defense, focus on great footwork, good body positioning, and you're stick up and ready to either deflect a pass or get onto the player's hands. Got to be disruptive out there. Don't make it so easy for this Tar Heel team.
And it is intimidating. Like, I played against UNC, and they lull you into this because they're so talented that you almost think like, well, I don't want to put a pressure on them because then they're going to take me to goal. But it is like a team effort.
Totally. Can't leave your defenders on an island. Need to have team defense with the ball, person on ball, the help, the slide.
You know, what's wild about North Carolina is you can make the argument they've been the best team in the country since 2019. You know, so 2019, 2020, 2021, 2022, they don't have a national championship to show for it. Obviously, they're hoping to accomplish that this season, but since 2019, they've only lost 2 games, both championship weekend, both to Boston College.
And they haven't lost a regular season game in almost 3 years. That statistic is out of control.
So dominant, but yeah, I got to tell you, what really bothers them is those few losses that they've had. They have told us from the beginning of this season they are not forgetting the pain to that Boston College loss last year, that they're not overlooking any game this year. I think they've been very present in the moment, but they've got their eyes on the prize, and it starts with the ACC championship this weekend.
And I asked Ali Mastriani, do you guys feel that type of pressure? You went undefeated last season, and she said, we don't.
Carly Leach pulls one back for Pittsburgh. Much needed goal for the 8-seeded Panthers to start the second quarter.
Leach had the overtime score in first Duquesne. Further, one of their wins this season. And does a good job just taking her defender one-on-one. Beautiful finish. Watch she gets the inside. This is where you want it. There's no help there. Help comes late. Good bouncer. And this is one of the things that quarters have helped teams. They can be able to reset at the start of a new quarter. And it's a 3-goal game right now. And Pitt suffered some ups and downs in the first round game against Louisville. They battled back.
I like watching Carly Leach attack from the top of the paint. I think that's a great adjustment. Usually she's at X, but it's nice to see attack from the top because you do have those lanes, Sheehan, like you mentioned.
Dana, what are the Pitt celebrations after the goal that you got almost trampled in that first round game?
Yes, I did. I'm staying away by distance from the Pitt bench just so I can run away if I need to, but the celebrations don't stop. It's not just for a goal, it's for a goalie save, it's for a ground ball. They celebrate everything on the sidelines, and that's so great to see because they are establishing their own culture as a new team.
It's easy to remember or forget that this is a first-year program. They don't play like one.
This is the call for a shooting space foul. I thought the defender was within a stick's length there, but Brownie's done a great job. We've seen her on the 8-meter. This is her 3rd attempt.
1 of 2. Decided not to shoot, pulls it back out and reloads the UNC possession. DeFata, great save to deny Ortega.
Beautiful job, just the explosiveness, DeFata and Cage.
Wow, what a goal. Andy Aldave back here at Notre Dame where she played for the Irish, now in a Tar Heels uniform. That's just a perfect play.
Watch the little hesitation that Aldave throws in here. Cuts hard. She does an excellent job when her defender turns her head. All those little fakes in there, getting through the defense, waiting for the perfect opportunity. She has been so dangerous. I would take a guess that most of her goals have happened within about 18 inches from that crease. She scores in tight all this season. Has been such a welcome addition as a grad student to this Tar Heel program.
She 1-2 steps around the crease because she likes that. I mean, we've seen that happen a ton. She's getting so close to the crease, and that's difficult to do because you're right on top of the goalie, but she's so poised when she shoots, and she's able to shoot around the goalie, which I think she makes look really easy, and it's not.
She's picked up a lot of those second chance opportunities, fires them in. Played more of a midfielder role at her career at Notre Dame, broke the draw control record there. And here she's on more of the attacking end. They have used her, though, when they've struggled on the draw control. They put Aldave at the center circle, and she is often that extra spark they need to regain control.
North Carolina's relentless. They'll just keep on attacking. Pittsburgh needed that stop.
See if they can work the clear. That was one of the things that Emily Boissonneau told us. Early on in the season, they had some troubles with the clear. They've gotten much better.
Here's Carly Leach. She's got one of Pittsburgh's 2 goals today. Transfer from Oregon. This team, really the backbone of it is through the transfer portal. 14 of them on the roster. That's what you have to do just to get enough talent to compete in the ACC, which Emily Boissonneau has done this season. And they really just don't look like a first-year program out there. Paige Petty, probably the biggest name in the transfer portal that they have this season.
She was a huge pickup for them, but so much great leadership that came. She's been quiet today, though, on the offensive end. She and Madison Cattell were huge additions in that Louisville first-round game. Cattell here, number 3. She's great at feeding and putting the ball in the back of the net.
Has a step here. Petty thought got there first. Now they're going to say Taylor Marino was first to the ball.
So you saw Marino right there. Let's see, there is a whistle right there. They might go to have a conference about who was there first. Marino did stick her stick out, and the rule is whoever's closest to where the ball is when it goes out gets it first. So you technically don't have to run to the end line if the ball goes out first, but I thought it would have been Pitt's ball. We'll see if they change possession. And we'll see it is going to be back to Pitt's ball.
In the stick of Paige Petty. She comes in with a 79-game point streak. That is just so consistent.
Amazing player at Virginia Tech. Their star, 4-time All-American at Virginia Tech. Huge on the draw circle.
Only 1 shot today, though.
Some of those feeds inside have not worked for Pitt today.
Shot clock violation.
Julia Dorsey, a soccer star at UNC, dual sport athlete, is able to pick that ball off the turf and transition.
Perfect passing around the perimeter. Constant cuts for North Carolina. So much you have to think of and look at when you're trying to mark them up.
When you watch young players play the game of lacrosse, you see a lot of standing and watching. They stop and they look at what other people are doing. When you're at this highest level like UNC, you see those off-ball players are constantly moving, replacing, anticipating, trying to be a threat to score.
Peyton Reed with an excellent clearance, scooped it up and beat everybody North Carolina was throwing at her. Paige Petty trying to cash in on possession, can't do it.
The release of that shot and the trajectory was at the same level, so want to mix that up. Do like that Petty's taking that to Cage.
But this game's being played at a tempo that just suits North Carolina a lot more.
Up and down. Pitt did get the day off yesterday, but it's hard to come into travel. They drove here. It's a lot of travel to get out to Notre Dame for most of these teams. And UNC coming in fresh.
And Jay, you mentioned it. You don't want to get in a track meet. And if you are Pitt, you do have to control the tempo. You can't let them go off like that because they're so dominant in every position. So you have to control some of that momentum.
That's been North Carolina controlling it so far in this first half. "30 seconds to shoot." Wareheim, great pass. And a foul. Big hit as they collapsed on Ortega.
What a catch by Ortega. That was really impressive. Oftentimes, I feel like UNC is throwing that ball into places where their players are not yet, but they know that they're going to be there. Leading the players into space.
Ortega one-on-one with Paulina DeFatta, who's made 9 saves today. Ortega, the 4-time All-American, shows why. Perfectly placed on the free position. Her second goal of the afternoon, and this one puts up North Carolina 7-2.
I like how Ortega explodes. Look at the placement of that shot. She's got the stick in her left hand, shoots it non-stick side. Watch the placement here. Very tough for Nevada, had to make this save. And beautiful job placing that right at that seam of the net, right by the pipe.
She's just so impressive. The way she puts herself in a position to be successful is, to me, one of the most impressive attributes that she has. And it was nice to see Taylor Wareheim get in the mix. I know she was out earlier in the season with a shoulder injury, and she ended up setting that 8-meter up, so it's nice to see her. She's a really good facilitator for this UNC squad.
She was sidelined in the regular season of that Pitt game with that shoulder injury, so a welcome addition back.
And one quick thing on Ortega, now just 6 points away from Jen Adams' ACC career points record. 445 is the number she's chasing, now at 439 after 2 goals and an assist this afternoon.
And what a player Jen Adams was. 4-year national champion at Maryland. That record's been in place for a long time. 2001 is when she graduated. Now she leads Loyola.
Did you battle against her all 4 years?
Yes, and you knew that answer. Do you have to rub it in my face? Yes.
But she is a Hall of Famer, so
she is.
She gets that gold star.
So much respect, though. The Maryland teams back then were unbelievable. 7 championships in a row. So set a standard of excellence.
You just needed the 5th year. Then you would have won it.
Do you still have any eligibility, Sheehan? What do you think?
That's long gone.
I saw you working out in the hotel room. You still got it.
If I'm compared to some 40-year-olds, we got a good competition. So.
Here's Wurzberger, the quarterback. Ortega, such a tough angle. DeFatta snuffs it out. That's now 10 saves from Paulina DeFatta.
What sets goalkeepers apart are the quick reflexes, the anticipation. She was headed to the ground. Her knees were bent. She extends her stick. Take another look at the save. Look how her stick is down. She follows Ortega. She's falling downwards, able to extend and reach. And what was so important with that save is she keeps the ball inside the crease area. It doesn't let that deflect.
One adjustment that Emily Peros, who's the offensive coordinator, was yelling in on the sidelines to Jamie was just catch and shoot. You don't need to spin, catch and shoot, make it simple.
Here's Paige Petty, and she fires it to the back of the net. Now 80 straight games with a point.
Love the adjustment that Paige Petty made on that shot. She changes the level of the shot. She gets to the inside. Look at her just motor through. Beautiful placement. Pitt is climbing back. UNC with the lead, 7-3.
Pittsburgh could run a college course on how to start a women's lacrosse program one-on-one. So first you got to announce it. That happened November 2018. First things first, you need a head coach. Emily Boissonneau, an awesome choice, July 2019. And then you need players. So Boissonneau gets to work. November 2019, you announce your first signees. Then COVID happens. You didn't think that was going to be in the timeline, but you work through it. You get your workouts held, and finally you make it to the field. A thrilling overtime win in the inaugural game. Emily Boissonneau and Pittsburgh Athletics. What an incredible job to start this program, and not just start it, but start it for a platform of success. And in June, ESPN's going to deliver more incredible content, just like Pittsburgh women's lacrosse, as they explore and analyze the first 50 years of Title IX of the women who are helping move the world forward.
I love what Heather Like said, the AD for Pitt. She said Emily Boissonneau is like the Pat Narduzzi of women's lacrosse, and that's a big compliment.
Absolutely. Reigning ACC champions on the football field. Kenny Pickett's going to stay in Pittsburgh, NFL drafted quarterback, picked by the Steelers last night. And for Emily Boissonneau, so much pressure to come in and just start from scratch, but the support she has at Pittsburgh and the way she's went about her business, an incredible addition to the ACC. And Clemson will have a tough act to follow, as they'll be new to the ACC next year, making 10 teams in total. But the team at the top, and they've been at the top for the last 5 ACC champions, is North Carolina, and they have showed why in this quarterfinal.
Just look at the distribution of the ball, the cross-field pass. Sam Geidersbach just streaks across. She fakes high, shoots low. Beautiful job using her body, absorbing the contact, gets her goggles knocked off a little bit, but the score feels good with that. 22nd goal of the season for the grad student.
And she keeps it simple. I think a lot of times when younger players are watching or they're prepping for their high school games, they think they have to change their hands and switch their levels, and she keeps it in her right hand, but she uses her body to sort of box out some of the defense. I think that's really important.
That's because they've got Sheehan. They're watching Sheehan, and she's like, you always got to switch your levels. And you're But it's true. I mean, you got to have a variety, right?
Have a variety, read the defense. And I think if you go in there with a set thing, saying I'm going to go in, I'm going to split dodge, right to left, do this, you have to adjust to the defense. So it's great to go out and practice these things, but then you need to be able to freelance when you're in there.
That's a great point by Dana. I do think North Carolina should get more credit for just keeping it simple.
Sometimes you don't need the flashy plays here. So the defense, we're seeing a lot of 8 meters being drawn, and Scotty Rose Growney has done a terrific job of seeing where the defense is. That one was shooting space, so the defensive player was not within a stick's length. So the defense needs to be marked up tighter. It's a safety call there. She opted not to shoot on the last 8 meter. Let's see. Great look at what she sees.
Fires to Fata there to save it. Now that is her 30th save of the tournament, 11 today. She could very well break the ACC tournament record for most saves. It's actually held by North Carolina's goalie, Taylor Marino. In 2018, she had 33, so she's only 3 away from tying. And she's only played a game and a half, really.
Well, she's having just like a very similar performance to the Louisville game in the first round. Louisville had a ton more shots than Pitt. UNC with 20 shots on the day, and Pitt on their offensive end have not been able to generate that many opportunities.
If I was a goalie, I would be upset with the defense in front of me. Would you not? She's doing all the work there defensively. You know, she can't be the only person stopping this UNC offense.
I think the only thing Pittsburgh's defenders would say is, look at who we're playing. North Carolina, no one's been able to stop them this season.
Beautiful job. Brooklyn Walker-Welch gets the back up there. If you're Pitt, you've got to have a player behind the defense. You want to make sure that you run out and get the second chance.
Olivia Dirk so quick on the restart as well.
Dirk's another one of those transfer portal pickups. Big Ten midfielder of the year at Penn State. This is where Wurzburger likes to operate from behind the cage. Leads the team in assists.
Ortega right on the money. DeFata again. She is so fun to watch.
Got to have a smile on her face. She has been phenomenal, saving in multiple different ways. We've seen her going to the turf, reaching high, stuffing point-blank shots inside the 8-meter. 12 saves on the day for her.
After 19, an ACC Women's Lacrosse Tournament record for saves in a game. Now she's on pace to get the championship record. 2 saves away. She might get it this half.
She leads the ACC in saves per game, so sees a lot of shots. But we had a goalie in college that was our defense, was to make sure that the goalie got the shots that she wanted, to actually force them into her to give her a good look so that she would make the save.
In Pittsburgh on the offensive end, they've only taken 33 shots over the course of this championship. Compare that to DeFata's making 31 saves. Speaks to your point, Sheehan, that they've just been starved for possession, shots, opportunities. And here's Dirks again with a head of steam.
Just 10 shots for this Pittsburgh offense.
Aldave operating at X behind the cage.
Just good patience for UNC. Excellent stick in the passing lane.
Chloe Jones comes away with it for Pittsburgh. Tried to get it to Petty. That's a costly error in the clearing game.
This is tough as a defensive unit. The ball has been on UNC's offensive end for the majority of this game.
9 turnovers now for Pittsburgh.
I know running in the midfield is difficult, but playing set defense for an extended period of time is extremely difficult. You can see them all in that like basketball stance, like with their quads. That's really hard to do, and you're running in and out, you're pressuring on the ball, you're coming back for help. It's hard to play defense for that long, especially against UNC.
Physically exhausting because they're constantly cutting through. Nice pipe, that'll reset the shot clock to 60. But also it's mentally exhausting. The communication, the looking around, making sure you see the ball and your player. That's another shooting space violation. I thought that player was marked up as well, but you got to adjust just the way the officials are calling it. UNC is 2 for 4 shooting off the 8-meter today.
Right into DeFata. That was one of the easier saves she's had to make today. 13 in total. One minute remaining in this first half. North Carolina, a comfortable 5-goal lead, but looking for more. And they'll get a great opportunity here.
They're calling the shooting space a lot in this game. Again, once again, it's hard to tell from our angle, but it looks like she's within a stick's length there. But it wasn't that the player that was on ball actually not being called for this. Number 18, the player offending, goes behind.
Here's Wareheim. Saved again! Paulina DeFata is not human in this ACC tournament. 7 saves alone this quarter. And with that save, she ties Taylor Marino's record, North Carolina's goalie, for most saves in an ACC tournament.
She is hyped up, just phenomenal to come against this UNC offense. They have 24 saves, shooting 33%, which is below their season average. They've been shooting about 52% of the season, so excellent job by DeFata.
Coughlin, great opportunity, Marino to the rescue. Taylor probably blissfully unaware that her ACC tournament saves record has been tied by her opponent, but she'll be very happy that her North Carolina Tar Heels have the 5-goal lead at the half.
I'm sure she's more happy with just making sure that they advance in this championship tournament here.
So excited for all 4 games today. We've got live halftime right off the field here at Arlotta Stadium. Tewaaraton winner Rachel DeCecco and our host Alan Cuff. We'll get to them in just a moment. Right now, Dana Boyle standing by with Jenny Levy.
Jenny, defensively, you held them to 3 goals. What have you seen from that defensive unit?
You know, I think, you know, we've done a good job one-on-one and handling that. I think we have to do a little bit better job getting through the double screens and things that are freeing up some of their shooters. I think we can help a little bit sooner on a couple things and make sure our second side's there, but overall, good job.
Then offensively, what adjustments will you make in that second half?
Well, we're getting looks on Paige. Their goalie's awesome. Obviously, she's coming off a 19 save per game on Wednesday, so we just have to do a little bit better job of finishing our shots and just keep shooting and don't get tight, but just stay loose and keep shooting and find the space in the cage that's open.
Thanks, Jenny.
Thanks.
Jenny just said it, 19 saves against Louisville already, 14 saves in that first half for Pittsburgh's Paulina DeFata, but her Panthers team trailing by 5, North Carolina, an 8-3 lead at the break. It is out during this opening quarterfinal. First of 4 in a crazy quadruple header here on the ACC network, all part of the ACC Women's Lacrosse Championship. And we had history made in the first half of this game. Paulina DeFata, her team might be trailing, but 33 saves in this ACC championship over the last 2 games ties Taylor Marino's record for most saves in a tournament.
She has been the heart of this Pitt team, saving the defense at times, just coming up with some unbelievable stops. Excellent job seeing the ball, controlling it inside the crease area. She has been a star.
I could watch those saves all afternoon long, and what's so impressive about DeFata is she's tied the ACC championship record. She's done it in a game and a half. Marino did the 33 saves over the course of 3 games, so in half the time.
Unbelievable. She was the reason they won that opening game against Louisville. And this game today, UNC with 24 shots. They are so lucky it's just a 5-goal game at halftime.
So 1 save and she'll be alone at the top of the ACC record books. And you know she's going to get a lot of opportunities to get that 1 save. North Carolina had 24 shots in the first half compared to Pittsburgh just 11.
Defense was a big point of emphasis when I spoke to Emily Boissonneau coming out of half. She said the first time we played North Carolina, we had ferociousness and we had grit. This time we're not getting those second opportunities and we're making it a little too easy for North Carolina. So we can make mistakes, but we have to have the grit and the hustle. That's the difference.
How difficult is it, Sheehan, when you're got some tired legs? You just played a full game 48 hours ago against Louisville, whereas North Carolina is coming in fresh.
Coming in fresh, but they're also riding a lot of adrenaline. So I think that's going to help Pitt right now. And then I'm sure part of the conversation in the locker room was, we've got 30 minutes left of the season. Win, and we can advance. If not, we're going home in this ending of the special season. So for Pitt right now, they are at 500 and able to be eligible for the NCAA tournament. They've got to win today. So 30 minutes on the field with your surrounding teammates. It's been such a special season for them. They've got a lot to fight for.
Ortega looking for a hat trick. DeFada with an opportunity to make ACC history, and Ortega beats her. Jamie Ortega notches her 3rd goal of the afternoon. It fires North Carolina in front 9-3.
When you study Ortega on the 8-meter, she scores in many different ways. Rarely does she ever take a 1-step and shoot and just rip it. She oftentimes runs it in, but sometimes she'll dodge through quite a few players to get the inside. Sometimes she lets it rip a little bit sooner, and other times she's right on top of the crease. So very tough to scout.
And very effortless, Sheehan, don't you think? She just makes it look so easy. She glides into the 8-meter.
Everything she does, she makes it look easy, and it is so tough. The career point leader at UNC. A great job assisting players. She absorbs all the contact. There's tons of double, triple teams on her at all times.
She'll go down undeniably as one of the best players in the history of the sport. Very well could, at the end of this tournament, break Jen Adams' record for ACC points. Fennick had it for a second. Pittsburgh's been starved for possession in this game. Paige Petty comes up with the draw control win.
Just 11 shots overall for this Pittsburgh offense. Only 1 free position attempt, so I think they should do a good try to get more fouls called on them. And you get that by dodging to cage, looking for 3 seconds, looking to try to get shooting space.
North Carolina's defense is so disciplined.
They do a great job of communicating, staying on their matchups. They send this early help.
And they're relatively young, the UNC defense. I know they have Emma Trenchard, but they lost Katie Woodruff, Wakefield, and Kayla Wood, and they were big staples. So to have players like Brooklyn Welsh, Gabby Hall come in and pretty much fit in seamlessly is really impressive.
Helps that they've got Taylor Marino behind them. So steady in her career for North Carolina. The most wins in Tar Heel program history. Leach trying to get those hands free and beats Marino. Carly Leach with 2 goals on the afternoon, trying to get Pittsburgh back in it.
Leach, a captain, realizing this could be the last game of the season for them. Look, heads on a swivel, up, looking, a little stop and stutter step, is able to get her 1 step in front of her defender, get her on their backside. Nice bounce shot and good placement of that bounce slipping by Marino.
And something that we talked about earlier, Sheehan, was they have nothing to lose. This could potentially be the last game of their season. So when I think you operate from that standpoint, a player like Carly Leach, she has to go off. She knows that she has to make it happen for her team, but they can play loose because this is the first year of their season, and they've already done such an incredible job.
Leach is 2 of 3 shooting today. The rest of her Pitt Panthers team 2 of 11. Needs some help on the offensive end. Obviously, Paulina DeFada in goal is doing everything she can, standing on her head with 14 saves in that first half.
Ali Mastriani for UNC, phenomenal. ACC Midfielder of the Year last year. She takes the draw control, distributes, also as a scorer, impacts pretty much every area of the game.
And can handle any matchup on the defensive end.
Just a real complete player. One of the reasons she's on the USA team, just is a player that you can plug in anywhere and she can make a difference.
It's just constant cutting when you watch North Carolina.
Great collapse by the Pitt defense.
Now they're packing it in, trying to limit the opportunities in front of DeFata's cage. Perfect passing, and it leads to a goal. Precision from North Carolina. Scotty Rose Growney caps off another terrific possession.
Scotty Rose Growney making her presence known. Look at the feed that comes down low. Comes from Wurzburger, and she drops her stick low to get herself more of an angle. So if she shot overhand from where she was, DeFata is lined up on the pipe, but by dropping her stick down low, she's able to slip it by and get into that far pipe.
And it's the ball movement that created that scramble defensively for Pitt. So we talked about it in the first half, but the ball movement head on a swivel for defense, it's so difficult. And they kicked it high to low. So when you change the levels, it's really hard to stop, especially someone like Scotty Rose Growney.
It's Caitlin Wurzburger's third assist of the afternoon to go along with one goal.
She's really the distributor of this offense, Wurzburger, and how nice would it be to have so many options to throw it to? You've got people that are cutting off ball all the time. She's got excellent vision. It's so great when you can make those passes and know that the person on the receiving end is going to make the catch and score.
That's a great point. Wurzburger, the quarterback, and she's got really 5 all-ACC wide receivers to throw to.
And she also draws the slides because Wurzburger is a legitimate threat to go to cage. So she's another one who you have to stop her, but then you stop her and then pick your poison.
And then you've got Jamie Ortega right on her heels with the assist also, because she's such a threat to go to goal as we've seen today. But if she doesn't feel like she's got the shot, she'll dish it out. And again, to many options out there that can convert and score.
And Jenny Levy spoke with us, North Carolina head coach, yesterday about the importance of just playing as a team. It's not about one individual. And she even lamented a little bit and said that's probably hurt us of never getting a Tewaaraton winner because we don't have that one individual. We're such a team-oriented program. And she said the best part about it is the players I recruit, they don't care about the accolades. They don't care about the individual awards. They just want to be the best team they can be. And I think this version of the team exudes that.
And it's almost the conversation of, do you want to be an All-American or do you want to be a national champion? And I think everyone on the UNC team, they want that natty.
Absolutely.
They definitely want that final trophy. Although they've got a whole long list of All-Americans on their team too. I mean, it's amazing. Unfortunately, for a lot of teams, you can't just give All-Americans to one team. You got to spread it out across the nation, across different teams. There's going to be a lot of first and second team All-Americans on this UNC squad.
Rose Growney already with a hat trick, adds another. Scotty Rose Growney going off in this ACC Women's Lacrosse quarterfinal.
Coach Levy describes her as electric and fast. She just gets to cage hard, changes up her shot placement, and just look at her extension of her arm. She's very loose with her stick and gets power with the cradle. Is able to get that one right by Paulina DeFata.
Timeout taken by Pittsburgh head coach Emily Boisseau. North Carolina piling on the pressure on Pittsburgh. Tar Heels in full control, up 11-4. The first of 4 quarterfinals on a crazy Friday quadruple header here in South Bend. North Carolina up 11-4. And Scotty Rose Grounding, she's got as many goals as Pittsburgh does in this game. She's leading the way for this top-seeded Tar Heels team.
She's been excellent on the 8-meter, scoring 50% of her shots, just picking the places, getting into the space at the right time. Unbelievable job. Love her ability just to control her stick, to get into open space. She's so fast and smooth.
North Carolina's done a good job in particular. 4 of 8 on free positions. 2 of those goals belong to Scotty Rose Growney. And when you look at the perennial power that Jenny Levy has taken this Tar Heels team to, 41 regular season games they've won in a row. That record is going to be intact until the start of the next season because the regular season is over. Now, how has she built this program to just be that constant?
She has been amazing. Started the program back in the late 90s and has just done an excellent job. I mean, North Carolina, UNC, a great school, beautiful campus, just so much easier. When you get the recruits down there, it's hard not to like it. I think they've got probably a harder time saying no to people that want to be part of this team, but just unbelievable teams. And each year they seem to just be able to reload. Even though they graduate some of the greatest players, they fill in the holes. Great tradition.
I love the story she told us earlier in the season about her sit-down conversation with the great Roy Williams, the basketball coach, and they had this real conversation about what it means to be elite, and he told her, you may never win a title, and you have to be okay with that, but it is the slow and steady wins the race, and they've certainly reached the top level, Jay.
Yeah, national championships in 2013 and 2016, 5 straight ACC tournament championships. And this team just seemed like they're on a mission from that very first game. They've not deviated from that path.
They're focusing on the little things. They want to play a full 4 quarters, execute. It's the little things. Play with energy. Sam Geiersbach already 2 goals to her name.
Makes it a hat trick. And North Carolina starting to pull away now in this 3rd quarter.
The 8 meters have been a difference in this game. And UNC is just taking advantage of those fouls, scoring in different ways. Geiersbach, we've talked about a lot of her skills happen kind of closer to the goal line extended, utilizes the inside roll, great shifty feet. But she's able to get her 3rd goal of the day.
And as a team, UNC, they're shooting better. That first half, Jenny said, we got to pick and choose how we shoot. Paulina DeFatta is a good goalie. She gave Pitt a lot of credit in that respect, but they're definitely shooting better in this 3rd quarter, and that was an adjustment that they certainly needed to make.
Now they're starting to dominate the draw control circle too. In the 1st quarter, Pitt won the battle 4-3 in the circle. Since then, North Carolina has won 9-2.
Pitt's gonna need to get possession here. UNC just separating themselves, dominating in the cause turnover category. They've had 9 free position attempts, been able to capitalize on 5. Pitt's not been able to generate the amount of shots. Got less than half the amount of UNC's shots. But luckily, Paulina DeFatta has been phenomenal with 14 saves on the day. She's bailing them out, but the offense needs to respond.
Well, all of those saves in the first half. She's yet to make one in this 3rd quarter. North Carolina scored 4 goals on 4 shots on goal. Aldave, DeFatta there to the rescue, and that's for the ACC tournament record. 34 saves to pass North Carolina's Taylor Marino.
What an awesome performance DeFatta's had all week long.
Didn't we say we were going to give her a gold medal in goalie world yesterday? I think she's earned it today.
Some special recognition for sure for the grad student. And she knows all these shooters. This UNC offense, they are famous. The players here are some of the toughest to stop, and she's done an excellent job anticipating.
Take another look at the record-breaking save. We have history here in Game 1 of our quarterfinal quadruple header.
These are game-changing. Watch her just explode, and again, what is so key here, she's able to corral that ball back into the crease area. We've seen how when some of the times those balls ricochet off the pipe or the goalie, then the other team is able to score, but she's able to control it.
Well, the problem for DeFata is she's gotten no help on the other end of the field. Pittsburgh's only mustered 14 shots compared to North Carolina's 32. It feels like it's just one-way traffic. Everything, North Carolina just continues to reload. Aldave on the doorstep, couldn't find the right angle.
Important clear attempt here. The defense has been peppered with this UNC offense, so they got to transition down the field cleanly. And this is a time when they may want to take things a little bit slowly. They got to give their defense a break and work the shot clock. Just 2 shots for Pitt this quarter. Their last shot was at the 12-minute, 25-second mark.
So nearing 7 minutes without even a shot attempt. North Carolina has been dominant in possession, dominant on the scoreline as well. 8-goal lead with 5:30 to play in this third quarter. Pittsburgh desperate for a goal to give some sort of momentum in this game. But North Carolina's defense too disciplined. Emily Knowles with a head of steam. North Carolina so good of taking defense into offense. Ortega trying to find the angle, the double team, and she's fouled.
Pitt's able to, looked like that was going to be a numbers opportunity for UNC. They were able to get some of their defense back in time to stop the fast break.
Now, usually you would say this is not a great angle for a free position, but with Jamie Ortega, anything is possible.
She's able to just get to the center of the field by protecting her stick along the way. But I think a smart move there just to hold on to possession. I think they realize right now that the defense is tired.
Olivia Dirks weaving her way through traffic.
They're called crease violation on UNC. So as an offensive player, you're not able to step inside the crease. Your stick can follow through on the shot. But if you step in that blue circle area, that'll be a turnover. So big play here for Pitt. I think offensively, when and if they're able to get this downfield, they got to look that some of the passes really to the perimeter and the inside have not been going well. So they've got to make the easy passes. Beautiful stick in the passing lane. That's Jamie Ortega. Give her credit for the ride.
Up ahead, Scotty Rose Growney. That would have been for 5 goals. Now Pittsburgh and Paulina DeFata, they keep earning the stops. It's just the clearing game, the offensive game, they just haven't found their flow. And credit North Carolina, they take a lot of teams out of their flow.
And I think what North Carolina does really well also is they haven't relaxed. They've got this 8-goal cushion. However, they don't want Pitt to crawl back into this game. This game can be a series of runs. You can score very quickly, but UNC's, look at them defensively now. They're still marked up tight, and they've caused 9 turnovers, so very aggressive in terms of understanding that they want the ball in their sticks.
You talk about them not taking a break. Well, on that last possession, Taylor Wareham, she's pressuring the goalie, and they're up 12-4, so they don't give up. It's all gas.
And I think that's what makes good teams really great, that you have to play the same. If you give 80% effort, you got to play the same all times.
Making 10 caused turnovers, the last one from Emma Trenchard, first team All-ACC player again this season. Tewaaraton finalist as well.
She's usually tasked with the best player, the markup on the best player of the opposing team. Just so solid 1v1. And we've seen her make some great plays with some ground balls and transitioning down the field.
Well, this is Scanoni into the game for the first time today, 50 in white. Dangerous lefty, as well as Livy Lawton, the junior, has it here. Those two getting their first run of the game. I don't know how Ortega makes that catch. It keeps the play alive.
And she just bounces right back up like she never fell on the ground.
It's incredible. She does it seemingly every game, multiple times.
And she gets rocked by multiple defenders.
Great save. DeFata continues a historic performance at goal for Pittsburgh. 16 saves today to follow up an opening round 19. She's already set the ACC tournament record for saves in a tournament. Remarkable.
They're making up songs on the sidelines about Paulina DeFata.
Do you care to sing?
Yeah, you told me you had a good voice, Dana.
Yeah.
Come on now, don't put me on
Well,
blast
at
like
least,
that.
like-
I need some music. I gotta have like a guitar tune to set the tone. You don't have that on the sidelines.
Well, what's the song about?
Paulina DeFata. They're making up songs about her because she's such a stud in the cage.
Madison Cattell was so strong in that opening round. So shifty, great feeder as well, but hasn't been able to get on the board.
Hard foul there.
They're gonna call a charge.
Charge.
36 seconds left on the clock.
Delana Williams.
14th turnover for Pitt. So when you're not winning draw controls and you have this many turnovers, it's very hard to try to come back. So big fourth quarter adjustments needed for Pitt to try to get back in this game offensively.
$15 seconds to work with at the end of the third quarter. Now under 10. Now credit Pittsburgh's defense and Paulina DeFata showing tons of heart in this game, but there's no question about it. This quarterfinal has belonged to North Carolina. All Tar Heels in that third quarter. Now they control an 8-goal lead headed into the fourth quarter. Starting the fourth quarter of our first of 4 quarterfinals, North Carolina in control. A 12-4 lead against 8-seeded Pittsburgh. A monster quadruple header in the best conference in the sport right now, the ACC. South Bend, a terrific host on the campus of Notre Dame. The Irish have the next game against Duke. Notre Dame needs a win to keep their NCAA eligibility alive. And then the nightcap, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, and Virginia.
Just such talent. I mean, you look at this ACC championship, these are the top teams in the nation. Unbelievable, fighting for their survival to get into that NCAA tournament. So much on the line.
It's definitely a gauntlet, and what I love most about the ACC tournament is that these teams have already beat each other up again, and now we're seeing new stars arise, new teams that maybe have impressed us earlier in the season. It's interesting to see. There's so much competitiveness, so much physicality.
And it's tough to beat teams twice. I mean, coaches often say that. I don't know if that's to make the loser feel better about it, but it's hard. Behind the back attempt, but another save.
Now 17 for DeFata. Well, undisputed best conference in the country, the ACC this season. They've got the top 3 teams. North Carolina, the only team left undefeated in the country, 15-0, nearing 16-0. And number 2, Boston College, number 3, Syracuse. Duke, you could argue, is one of the top 5 teams in the country. They're the 4th seed. And then you got the likes of Notre Dame, Virginia Tech, and Virginia that are fighting their way into an NCAA at-large bid. They need a win, all 3 of those teams, to keep their eligibility alive.
15 automatic qualifiers in the NCAA tournament, 14 at-large spots. So there's a lot of teams that are beyond the bubble, but half the battle for a lot of the teams in the ACC right now is getting over that 500 mark. And when you're playing in the ACC, it's so strong, such a hard strength of schedule that'll prepare them when they get to these conference tournaments and the NCAA. But teams like Virginia and Notre Dame just trying to get eligible. Great cross-field pass.
Right on the money from Brooklyn Walker-Welsh. The freshman out of the Hill Academy in Canada earned a spot on the Canadian team for this summer's World Championships. She'll actually be competing against her collegiate head coach, Jenny Levy, who's the head coach of Team USA.
Good collapsing for the Pittsburgh defense.
Here's Mastriani in attack mode. Scanoni tried to free up Wareheim. It'll be pit ball. This is Ava Washington, who had 2 goals in the opening round. Plenty of room. Marino there to snuff it out. Here comes North Carolina back quickly the other way. So dangerous in transition. They turn defense into offense quicker than any team in the country.
Love when UNC comes down. They see do they have numbers, should they push it? Then they quickly assess the situation. They work the ball around, get everyone a touch, and then they get into attack mode where everyone is cutting off ball.
Perfect pass, Scotty Rose Growney, the finish again. Her 5th goal of the afternoon gives North Carolina a 9-goal lead.
She scored in multiple different ways, too. Taylor Wareheim gets it up top here, and then just the ball swings around to the inside. Scotty Rose Growney, she got open, little pick up top and roll. Nice job, just utilizing the space, sees when her defender turns her head ever so slightly, gets her stick free. The sideline loving it with their celebrations.
Emily Boissonneau, Pitt head coach, calls another timeout. Scotty Rose Growney, 42nd goal of the year, 5 today to lead what has just been a dominant Tar Heels attack. 13-4 with 11:19 left in this 4th quarter. It's a 9-goal cushion for the top-seeded Tar Heels. North Carolina showing why they're the only undefeated team left in the country. And usually it's Jamie Ortega setting the tone. Today, Scotty Rose Growney.
She has excelled, 5 goals on 11 shots, a focal point of this offense for the Tar Heels. Just scoring in multiple different ways, picking up the loose change, getting it in. Really great stick here. So many weapons for UNC. They've got 5 different goal scorers on the day, but Growney has really stood out.
$11 shots for Scotty Rose Growney. Pittsburgh as a team has only attempted 15.
And that's been the story of the day. Just not being able to get enough shot opportunities for this Pittsburgh team. UNC's also dominated the draw controls, 14-6.
North Carolina doesn't look like a team leading by 9. They have their foot planted on the gas right now.
Which you can't adjust. I think that's very smart, that you just need to make sure you don't relax. They can work in substitutes as they need to, give people a breather, trying to keep them fresh for this entire weekend. But they need to still be in attack mode. You don't want to open the door for anyone to come back.
Here's Wurzberger, usually attacking from behind the cage. Rose Growney again, this time didn't shoot. Scanoni keeps the possession alive for North Carolina.
Calling a foul on Pitt, so Scanoni will be placed at the dot behind the cage to reset.
Scanoni, the bouncer, and it goes. This North Carolina offense is poetry in motion.
She is such a stud. She doesn't get in the game a ton. She doesn't start, but it doesn't matter because she's got a great lefty shot. I just love the way she evades the defense. She's so smart in the way that she shoots. And such, to me, when you have a player like that that can go in and make an impact score, like you said, Jay, they're not going to let up. All gas, no brakes. I have been so impressed with Alyssa Scanoni her entire career at UNC. Such an impact player who doesn't get a lot of time.
Last year we used to see a lot of her. She would come in and have that rocket outside shot.
On the elbow.
Yeah. So it's been, with the addition of a lot of talent coming in through the transfer portal, there's so many stars that don't necessarily get to see a lot of minutes, but when she's in, she makes an impact.
And a lot of those players who we don't see get in the game a lot, they're making the defense better during practice, during scout teams, so they play a really important role.
Well, the depth is just unbelievable that Jenny Levy has compiled at North Carolina. Sheehan, how was she able to manage the egos? Because all of these players were the top players at their respective high schools, and now you come in and maybe you're part of that scout team and you're not even touching the field on game day.
You know, I think it can be a delicate balance, just making sure, keeping everyone happy, from those that are playing a lot, those that are not playing, those that think they should be playing. There's a lot of different things that you gotta figure out. But she seems to have a recipe for success, because you can see the unselfishness on display, that no one's looking to try to get their numbers. You can see a little pass too high. Scanoni not almost able to save it, but that'll be Pitt ball.
And I think it's the personalities too, Sheehan. When you're getting recruited, that's something that head coaches look for. Is this player going to be a good team player? Is it going to be about her? Is it going to be about the team? I think you can kind of sift some of that out in the recruiting process before you even bring kids to your institution.
Jenny Levy's done an excellent job finding the right fits, the right personalities to bring in and be part of this team. Again, going back to that Tewaaraton conversation, there's been no individual for North Carolina to win that highest honor, that individual award. They're focused on this as a team sport. And the fluidity, starting with Marino and Nat all the way up to Ortega in that attack line. They have balance in every unit, every facet of the game.
Last year they had 2 of the 5 finalists from UNC, Taylor Marino, a goalkeeper, and Jamie Ortega. Charlotte North from BC won that award last year, and deservedly so. Unbelievable goal scorer for Boston College, winning the national championship last year. It'll be interesting to see who the committee decides is the final 5 this year. There's a lot of talent.
I think we're all glad that we don't have that job, because it's so difficult.
I'm just so glad that lacrosse has figured out that it should be a cumulative award, meaning at the end of the season. So many sports are like, well, voting ends at the end of the regular season. No, you should take into account the entire season.
I know Sheehan will disagree with me, but I really want to see a goalkeeper win the Tewaaraton.
Well, they have.
Well, we've seen one.
Yes, Megan Taylor, Maryland, was the first.
Recent, like a Taylor Marino. I'm just going to put my bid in now.
Your bid has been documented.
Defense still working hard for Pitt. think what stands out about this UNC team is the ball movement on offense. Off the pipe.
Right on cue, though. Great ball movement. Couldn't get the finish, though. Well, we've seen a defender win a towards on. It's Rachel DeCecco who's standing by. She'll be part of the post-game show.
A legend, such a great defender for the Princeton Tigers.
And still such a student of the game. I love listening to DeCecco break down the game because she sees it from such a different angle than Sheehan and I, who are attackers and midfielders. She's really impressive.
You'll hear from her and Dallin Cuff coming up. They'll get you set for Duke Notre Dame, our second of 4 quarterfinals. Monster quadruple header, all right here on the ACC network. Quarterfinal Friday in the Women's Lacrosse Championship. What a play! Out of seemingly nowhere, Peyton Reed, the senior, goes the length of the field and fires it past Marino. Wow.
A one-woman effort there with a head of steam. Reed was one of those club players for Pittsburgh. So much success on the club team nationally. He was able to make her stamp on the Division I level, though. Beautiful dodging. It's like she was dodging cones out there. Gets to the center of the field, is able to finally get one in.
To me, that's a statement goal. Yes, they're down by a significant amount, but to me, that's developing a culture. And when I was in the huddle, Emily Boissonneau was really positive despite the score, and she said, we just have to keep chipping away. We just have to keep chipping away. This is a new season. I'm just really impressed with the body language. You can tell when a team's on the field and they already feel like they've lost a game, and I don't see that from Pitt. I still see them going hard, fighting for the ground balls.
And that was a great effort by the senior, too. Just her second goal this season. So just realizing that people got to take charge. First goal for Pitt in over 12.5 minutes. No foul called on that. A lot of contact.
A little more than 5 minutes away from North Carolina booking their spot in the ACC semifinal.
Wareheim wide open, cutting through, just passed a little long.
First meeting between these two teams back in February. The final score was 15-5. It's funny, months go by, personnel changes, and yet could get a very similar result here.
Which, if you ask me if I thought that UNC would be able to score 15 goals against Pitt, I'd say, yeah, I actually think that their offense has gotten so much better, they'd score a lot more. So a tremendous task to keep this UNC offense just at 14 goals so far. UNC with 41 shots on the day, so not being as efficient as they're accustomed to. And a huge reason why is Paulina DeFatta. Unbelievable day, 18 saves. Career high was 19 in the first round game.
And that's a takeaway, Sheehan, you know, not getting running clock, preventing UNC from getting running clock. I think that's a win, despite the score.
And they've scored the last 2 goals in this game, too. The fight, the belief, those things can carry over to a following season.
Not going down without a fight. I think that is a lot about the culture, not giving up. Kate Elam here with a little roll dodge and the re-dodge. Gets back. And then you just got to glove the effort here, understanding that this is the end of the road for this Pittsburgh team and their inaugural season, but they're leaving it all out on the field.
And it's something that we talked about in that Louisville game. It's okay to make a mistake. That's what Emily Boissonneau was preaching. It's okay to make a mistake, but let's just make up for that mistake. And scoring the last 2 goals, to me, that makes up for those types of mistakes that happened in that first half.
Two quick goals for this Pitt team, too. And UNC's made some substitutions out there, but the fight continues.
I thought North Carolina head coach Jenny Levy said it best about this Pittsburgh team. This is year 1 I think what they've proven is they're going to be a force in the ACC for years to come. This is just not a one-year wonder. They're only going to get better.
Only going to get better, and it's so great to have some success to get the ACC wins, and that's a hard foul. We're going to see a yellow card being issued for that cross check, the extension of the arms there. Number 14, Livy Lawton, will be sidelined for up to 2 minutes. We'll see what Pitt can do in this woman-up opportunity. No assisted goals for this Pitt offense. I feel a lot of their passes to the inside have been batted down by UNC.
It'll likely be too little too late for Pittsburgh, but a woman-up opportunity. They've scored the last 2 goals after North Carolina got into a 10-goal lead. Paige Petty denied by Marino. Way too much on that pass from Petty. As the time ticks down on her historic career in the ACC, she'll go down as one of the best to ever play in this conference. 4-time All-ACC player, 3 of those years with Virginia Tech, and she'll always be associated with this Pitt program. She took a chance on a team in their first year. She could have gone pretty much anywhere in the country, would have taken her talent.
Been a huge reason, the leadership that she's been able to give. Leading by example has had a lot of success. This Pitt team has a lot to be proud about. What an excellent season in their first season in the ACC in Division I. A lot of historic moments.
I think Emily Boissonneau signed up for a 9-win inaugural season in this league.
I mean, amazing. The toughest league in the nation this year. Such a strong strength of schedule.
I think this is really just the beginning for Pitt. I'm so excited to watch them continue. I mean, this is just the first season, like we've said all year, but they're so impressive. And it's the body language and the energy that stands out to me. They may not have all the pieces, all the X's and O's in place, but they have the recipe to be really successful.
Beautiful way to cap off this game for North Carolina. Patient on that possession. 6 seconds left on the shot clock, and they finally strike through Geiersbach.
Geiersbach wide open, and she throws in the fake, understanding sometimes you get very anxious. You know there's no defender around you, but you have to take that time, make sure you throw in a fake. Great cross-field pass, nice pump fake, gets DeFatta moving, and UNC gets their 15th goal of the game. Really nice pass there by Riley Casey crossfield.
4 goals today to go along with Scotty Rose Groundy's 5 and Jamie Ortega's 3. And North Carolina will await the winner of Notre Dame and Duke. That game coming up right here on the ACC network. At 40 minutes from now, you'll be in the live studio here in our live set at Arlada Stadium with all ACC, Dallin Cuff, Rachel DeCecco coming your way.
7th assisted goal for UNC, so really working the defense, spreading those passes through the middle. And UNC, being the #1 seed here, they get the advantage having the first game of the day. So they'll get to recover, rest and recover, assess the competition.
Of the 3 games to come, which one are you looking forward to the most?
The next one. I feel like you're going to look at it, each one as a different game and matchup. So I think it's going to be an exciting tournament from end to end. But Duke Notre Dame, I'm really looking forward to that one. Notre Dame's been in a must-win situation the last few games, and they've won the last 3. Duke has been phenomenal all season long with their wins. They suffered a setback going against UNC, but I think that's going to make them even more hungry.
Emily Coughlin trying to go full field. We saw our teammate Peyton Reed do it earlier.
I'm really looking forward to the Virginia Tech Boston College game because I think Virginia Tech, they didn't play Boston College very well in the first meeting, so I think they have something to say and a little bit more of a pep in their step under the new head coach, Kristen Skyra.
What a pass from Taylor Marino, right on the money. And North Carolina's moving on to the semifinal. A comfortable 15-6 win for Jenny Levy's team.
Great team effort for this UNC team, so unselfish. They're able to get some reserve players into the game, but you look at the other end, Paulina DeFato, what an amazing performance. 18 saves on the day. She did everything in her power to try to limit this UNC team.
And her name will live on in the ACC record books, the most saves in a women's lacrosse championship. North Carolina, the first of 4 teams to book their spot in Sunday's semifinals. Duke Notre Dame is next, and then the nightcap, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Syracuse, and Virginia. What a great start to our fantastic Friday quadruple header. 1 quarterfinal in the books, 3 to come. And North Carolina left no doubt, showing why they're the last unbeaten team remaining in the country. A resounding 15-6 win to knock out 8-seeded Pittsburgh. For Sheehan Stanward Birch, Dana Boyle, we'll be right back. Till then, all ACC with Dallin Cup. Rachel DeCecco starts now.